Hey, everybody, welcome back to Couch Critics. It is Oscar week, and we're not talking about that. I'm your
Woo!
host, Josh,
Yeah.
alongside, as
Are we
always.
are we the only show who is not talking about the
Uh,
Oscars right now?
I can neither confirm nor deny, but there might be a special episode coming about the
Mm,
Oscars.
quite
But it
possibly.
is not this one. This one is our regular scheduled Tuesday show. If you've been with us for any amount of time, Fridays is when our special episodes come out. So as they happen, that's where they go.
Yep.
Interviews, randomness. But today is just a day where we're going to talk about what we've been watching and maybe travel in time.
Maybe.
Maybe.
We'll see. I'm gonna go back and make myself 12 again.
Oh, wouldn't
Start this process all
that
over
start all
again.
over? And buy an early copy of Rad on VHS.
Oh man, what a great movie.
All right.
Um
How you
Anyways, how you
doing?
been, man? How
Yeah.
are things?
Man, I am good. I am good. A lot going on. I'm still sore as crap from my slip and fall.
Your
Um,
icy fall.
just yeah, my icy fall, just a little sore. But I'm good. How are you doing?
Good, work is work and all those kind of fun things.
Work,
I'm
it really is.
very happy and excited to be here doing this. This is,
Yes.
as I always say, the best part of my week. So,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Wow, you have a
You know,
shitty week if this is the best work.
well, they both can be true. Little column A, little column B, Anyways, man, what have you been watching?
You know what? So I've been busy, busy, busy. So I haven't watched a lot new, but I did watch a couple of new things this week. The first new thing that I watched this week was this little gem I found on Turner called from 1971 called The Night Digger.
Oh, yeah, the
Super,
motorcycle, the UK. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. It's peak British psychological drama. It's if you ever watch like Night Gallery, it's that eerie kind of psychological
Right.
drama, but it like all of the characters are obnoxiously polite, but super messed up underneath. So it's that hypocritical world.
Very British.
Patricia
Yeah.
Neal is the main actress. She plays a blind woman living with her mother. Her mother is that super overbearing, oppressive kind of presence. And then a handyman shows up to do some work on the house, and he is he's worse than mom.
Is he a
Nothing
night
it's
digger?
it he's the night digger.
Just
It's
kidding.
nothing flashy about it, but it's just it's my favorite kind of scary movie, that slow burn. It's not monsters. It's just
No
creepy
werewolves.
humans
Right.
that that I'm actually would be afraid of.
I am way more afraid of a normal
A
person,
100%.
like
A 100%.
an
Um,
actual person, than I am
so
about any monsters in your
when
movies.
because of you, I've been trying to keep sort of a film watch diary.
But yeah,
And
good on you.
as I come up with things, as I write down the movie I watch, when the movie's over, I write it down when the movie's over. I try to put the name of the movie, the year the movie came out, and if there's something that I'm thinking when it's done, I
Like
give a little
a
note, a little
takeaway.
takeaway,
Yeah.
and I actually typed it down. This is one of those movies where you question your humanity when it's over. Like, it's I don't
So
wanna
it's
give things away.
uplifting.
Super, super
It's
uplifting.
Schindler's List
Schindler's
kind of
List. Yeah,
uplifting.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's the
Exactly.
same Sophie's Choice
I
and
do recommend it, but don't watch it if you're already depressed.
yeah,
And don't
it's not
watch
gonna
it if
help.
you're looking for a good time, 'cause it's bleak. It's bleak,
Yeah.
I'll just say.
Yeah.
But definitely worth watching if you're in that frame of mind, you're ready to watch something like that. Night Digger,
Hmm.
yeah.
I watched a lot of movies. I'll just breeze through a couple really quick note. There's a movie called The House on 92nd Street from 1945.
Mhm.
The only reason this movie is basically about the German, because it's a true story of German spies in the United States during World War II who were working on espionage and stealing secrets and all those things like that. And it's basically an investigation to track down like a dragnet style figure out who is the spy and all these things like that. It's based on a true story. It's fascinating. I just note that because that one was better than I thought it would be. But it's funny. I've seen so many pre-code movies and everything else,
Mhm.
and there's one that. Do you know who Joe Cook is? He was a circus performer, like juggler, acrobat, all the things like that. He only did, I think, one movie of note,
Yeah, I don't know,
anyways,
yeah.
and it's a Frank Capra movie called Rain or Shine, and it's
Really?
about a circus. The classic story of the circus. The owner of the circus dies. His daughter takes over. The people in the circus are trying to get her out of the way and own the circus or whatever. It's silly 1930s stuff. Not even silly a little bit, but Joe Cook is the lead in this movie, and I'd never even really heard of him.
Yeah,
But he's phenomenal in this movie. He is Van Wilder. He's Ferris Bueller,
really?
doing it all while like juggling and balancing on a tightrope. And I don't know. He is so charming. I'm shocked he didn't do more. Anyways, I just want to throw that one out there because it's Frank Capra and this guy Joe Cook, who I've never heard of.
Yeah,
Right?
I just pulled him up. He was big on vaudeville, which you absolutely but not real big in film. Wow.
And if you watch Rain or Shine, it's pre-code, so it's really short. It's to the point, succinct, if you will.
Yeah,
But if you watch Rain or Shine, it's amazing. It's like watching some 80s Parker Lewis character with Garrett Graham in it. It's like watching some
yeah.
Parker Lewis-y Ferris Bueller, the guy who has all the answers character, like in 1930, but in a very charming way.
Cool,
Anyways,
yeah.
I don't know what happened. Maybe it's something behind the scenes. I don't know. But that's why I note that. And then I watched a movie called The Secret Six, which is basically about a bootlegger and the gangsters and all that stuff. It's also
Yeah,
pre-code. I watch every pre-code and
yeah,
silent movie I get my hands on.
sure.
Wallace Beery's in it, handful of other people. It's only notable because it's written by Francis Marion,
Okay.
who is one of the early pioneers of screenwriting,
Mhm.
did some directing, famously partnered with Mary Pickford early in their career. Super important, influential writer, director. And it was a gangster picture that she wrote, which is, I don't know. I shouldn't think that's funny, but the rest of her pictures are much more, I think, of the Mary Pickford stuff, where she's writing about a little like Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm and things like
Right,
that, and
and
sparrows or
that's
whatever else she wrote. But yeah,
that's
but anyways,
Frances Marion, not Marion Morrison, who we all know as John Wayne.
no, I don't know if I knew that was his last name. I
His
knew his
real
first
name
name
is
was
Marion
Marion.
Morrison, yeah.
You said Marion, and I first thought of Happy Days. What's the mom in
Oh,
that? Is that Marion
Marion.
something?
Yeah,
It is
Marion
Marion,
Ross.
right? That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you. But I
She's
first thought you were talking
she
about
her a
Happy Days with Henry Winkler.
of the family, the actual, um, Cunningham family, her and Opie are the only ones still around. Very sad.
Hmm. That's a shame.
Anyway,
You know, Henry Winkler,
love that
by
guy.
the way, is the reason Better Off Dead got made. That's what I found out.
Really?
Because he saw a Savage Steve Holland short at a film festival
Yeah.
and kind of befriended him and then convinced him to give a shot and also connected him with John Cusack. And that's
Yeah.
how we got Better Off Dead.
Wow. This
I'm
would
just
have
saying,
been
random
awesome a
trivia
couple of
stuff.
months ago when we had that episode with
I
poor Jeff
know,
B.
but Better Off Dead never goes away.
It never goes
Right?
away.
It
We will
it never
always
goes
want our
away.
$2. So something that I did watch that I had never seen before, and it's been a blind spot. I've wanted to see it forever. It was 1955's We're No Angels.
Oh yeah,
Humphrey
got it.
Bogart, Peter
Love that
Ustinov.
movie.
Um, so I love Bogart playing light and
Yeah,
fun. I
and
always
good and
always loved
playing.
Peter
Yeah,
Ustinov, but what I didn't
yeah,
realize was how much I really enjoy Aldo Ray. He's
yeah,
funny in this movie. I like his
yeah.
kind
He
of
is.
meathead buff, like
Yeah,
I really liked it.
yeah.
I'm a little late, should have probably watched this for Christmas, but here we are in
It's still
March.
good.
It was
It's good
so yeah, it
anytime.
was a lot just it's they're
It's
escape
charming.
cons,
They're
and
sweet.
but they're
Yeah,
just
out of Devil's Island,
off
right? Like
Devil from Devil's Island,
the
yeah.
notorious prison
Nor yeah,
island, Devil's Island. You
yeah,
know,
it's
all
just a lot of funny,
yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
fun.
I get what you're saying. It's a
Yeah,
lot of funnier stuff then. Aldo Ray was also in that fantastic movie about the divorce, the people who were going through the divorce. I'm trying to remember the name of it. We talked about it um,
The only thing popping in
a
my
little
head
while
is The
back, but
Gay Divorce, and that's a different movie.
no, no, no,
But that's
no.
funny
But
too.
I'll have to think
Yeah.
about it. But Aldo Ray was in that, and it basically is this couple who go in and they're both telling the judge why they want a divorce, and they're telling it from each side.
The Rashomon thing.
Yeah, but they have the same story, but a different take on it,
Yeah.
like how they met, and like her take is, he was following her around, and his take is that she wouldn't leave him alone, like But it's so fun, so cute, and it's got I can't remember her name in it now. I'm losing all names right now, so
Yeah, I
just
hate
bear with
that.
me.
It happens.
But anyways, that one is insanely good, and if I think of it, I'll let you know. Um, but that's Aldo Ray. That was also surprising how good and thick and charming and stuff he was in
Yeah,
that
The
too.
Marrying Kind.
The Marrying Kind. Thank
Yes,
you.
with
What's her name?
Judy Holliday.
Judy Holiday. And see
Took a minute.
all these names,
All
but
these names.
it that one I highly recommend. Also, he is great in it, especially playing against her, and she's so fantastic and whatever. But I watched we have a fan of the show, Hannah. She works with my wife. She works with Mel. Mel calls her our TV twin because we watch very similar stuff. And she actually recommended a movie that I hadn't heard of, which was called Demoted from
Mhm.
2011.
Yeah, you
It's
mentioned
got
it
a
off air to
huge
me. I've
cast.
not heard of it
Okay.
either. Yeah.
Huge cast. David Cross most notably, but it's got the
Sean
losing every Ron
Astin.
White, Sean Astin,
Yeah.
the other main character. I don't know if he was anybody else,
Yeah,
but
not
it's basically like an Office Space meets The Office kind of a
mhm.
thing. The tire. Robert Klein
Yeah, Robert
owns a
Klein's
tire
in it.
company, and not spoil anything, but he dies. And then David Cross, who's kind of the bad guy in the movie, I guess, or he's the Dwight character.
Okay.
If you're thinking of The
You're thinking of
Office,
Office.
and he takes over the company. He's kind of ruthless, and Sean Astin and the other guy, they're kind of like f off salesman kind of people, always playing pranks on everybody. It's charming, like
Mhm.
I don't know if I wouldn't go out and buy it. I don't, but for the right person, I think it's really good. I'm glad that I like when somebody recommends something to
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
that I enjoy, and so I
Mhm.
appreciate that
Yeah.
to Hannah.
Do you think that it would be a movie you'd run out and buy if Garrett Graham had been in it?
Had Garrett Graham been in it, I probably would already own it, and I would have already known about it. We would have already
We
done a whole
we would
one
have
hour
already
thing on
talked
it,
about it on
but
this.
because he wasn't, all we'll get is this.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's got some pretty funny bits.
Yeah.
Sean Astin's
I
charming.
like Sean Astin.
David Cross is hard. I love David Cross so much. It's hard to see him as the heel, but he does it so well. Kind of like the Tobias. Anybody who
Never
Arrested
nude.
Development stuff. Yeah, never knew it, and he blew himself.
Yeah. He
He's
did blow
he's an analrapist, an anal rapist, an analrapist. Oh man, I love Arrested
Oh,
Development.
that's
Now,
so
Arrested
funny.
Development is better than Demoted, but that doesn't mean Demoted is not good. So, thank you to Hannah.
Yeah.
I love
I love
people
that. I
recommending
love
stuff
that.
that we
Um,
check out.
and then I watched I'm a big horror guy. I watched the
What?
2025
No.
a movie from last year. Osgood Perkins is the director. Osgood Perkins, famously the son of Anthony Perkins. He's also a director. He did
Not the Penguin.
not the Penguin, not no, not that Oz.
Oswald
Oz
Copperpot.
Cobblepot. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Chester Copperpot
Chester
directed this movie. It's based on
from
a short
Goonies, right?
story by Stephen King, called The Monkey. It's this cursed monkey if it comes into your lives, bad things happen. You probably end up dead. It's brutal. It's very graphically gory, but it's darkly humorous. Some of the things I caught myself laughing at some of the deaths, the way that they happen. Um, you have to be okay with dark humor, but the so there it is it's kind of a monster. It's an effigy of a monster, right? The monkey, the creepy monkey with the eyes and the clang clang things. But
Oh,
the
okay.
idea is that the reason that the movie is scary is because it puts out that everything is inevitable. That just the monkey's there to give the idea of inevitability, and that's like
Oh, okay.
time catches up to everybody. It's this was going to happen.
Right.
It
It's
w
like a
so
fate kind of a
yeah,
thing then.
so, again, much like the first movie I watched, it's not a party movie, but it does have some actually, very funny parts. It is graphic, it is dark,
Funny,
but
violent
funny,
kind of
violent
scenes.
stuff. Like
Like,
Inglorious
I get like
Bastards beating Nazis
hobo
funny.
hobo with a shotgun,
Hobo with a
very much
shotgun
a
kind of
la
yes.
like the kind of it's funny and it's
Yes.
in the insanity of these moments
Yes,
at the
in
same
just how
time.
crazy
Kill
it
Bill
is.
does it in some of the
Yeah,
scenes and
absolutely.
you know.
Precisely.
Hmm.
Precisely.
I watched, and I think we talked also a little bit about this previously. I think on another episode, but I did watch, and I wanted to recommend a movie called "Call Her Savage."
Yeah.
It's an old Clara Bow movie
Yep.
from 1932.
Mhm.
I know it's not everybody's cup of tea. It's short, but it is so modern and ahead of its time with the subject matter. It's very good. I don't need to go into too much detail, but I think it's
Yeah.
hard to find.
It is.
But if
I've
you
been
get the
looking for it, and
chance,
I can't find it anywhere right now, but I'm
it's
watching
just
for it.
really solid.
I
There's a
put
couple of
tracking on it to
there's a couple of famous scenes. They had called the sissy movement or the pansy craze, right? Which was in the 19 pre-code. There were a lot of gay characters and flamboyantly gay characters, and there's a little bit of that in this. Like this, some of the more famous scenes when they show clips of this come from this movie. Pretty solid.
yeah.
Um, but I watched something else, real quick. I don't know. I'm a huge Cary Grant fan, so My Favorite Wife is one of Amy's favorite movies.
Yeah.
And
We call
there's
her Mel on
another,
this show, just for those of you
we
that
call her Mel's Mel's favorite movies. She loves Cary Grant. She loves the movie. She'll
Yeah.
watch it over and over and over. But there's another version of the same basic story from 1940 called Too Many Husbands.
Okay.
It's a Jean Arthur movie, which I'm just kind of really now digging into Jean Arthur. But I got to say, Jean Arthur is a very funny actor. She is, her timing is insanely good. Her facial expressions, she's, a very good, unrecognized to me until very recently.
Mhm.
But, anyways, Too Many Husbands is Fred McMurray. I can't remember the other guy's name. But the idea is that Fred McMurray, they think, is dead. So she marries his business partner. He shows back up, and then hilarity ensues. It is the
Yeah.
quintessential screwball comedy. Like, it is 100%. But we laughed a lot. And I don't mean like, I mean like we laughed a lot. It
Yeah.
was
Oh.
much funnier than I thought it would be.
Hmm.
And it seemed cheesy, and it starts off a tiny bit slow, but really picks up steam. They're all very funny. Fred McMurray at his young best. Jean
Yeah.
Arthur is brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Walter Houston, is it Walter Houston or Walter
Melvin
Brennan? I
Douglas.
can't remember. And Melvin Douglas. But anyways, highly recommend it. If you
Yeah.
like My Favorite Wife, this is another version of that similar story, but told from the other direction, which is also in 1940 was a hard sell because you had two men and a
Mhm.
woman. It was
Yeah.
somehow better to have it the other way where it was a man with two women, like two women, because of, anyways,
And
and
I
they don't
just
shy
noticed
away from, but
I just noticed Edgar Buchanan's in it, and I'm a huge fan of, Petticoat Junction.
okay.
He's the uncle in Petticoat Junction. It's just one of those Green Acres. It's the whole, that
I'm
world.
familiar with the show, and I did a lot of heavy petting in my teenage years, but I don't know if I've ever seen Petticoat
Petticoat
Junction.
Junction.
But
It
Mel does know the theme song because she sings it every so often. So, she would probably know better than I would. Who does he play in this movie? Does it say?
in this movie, he plays the character McDermott,
That's that'll
probably
be
a smaller role.
Too Many Husbands. Like I
Yeah.
said, it's immensely funnier than I thought it would be. It might possibly have one of the dumber endings to a movie. Like it just, I mean, I'm talking like done.
Oh,
Very pre-code, but
but
you're like,
but
well, that seems
post. It's
unsatisfying.
pre-code, but post-code.
But post-code.
Like,
But all that being said, it still was insanely good all
Yeah.
the way up
All
till
right.
like the
Just for a
last
second.
minute and a half or whatever.
All right.
But
So
Jean Arthur, by the way, shout out to her. I had no, she's not alive anymore, by the way,
she's not. She's
but
not.
she is very funny. And getting a chance to watch any of her movie, I watched Devil Mrs. Jones, and
Mhm.
she is just
Oh,
very funny.
yeah.
She did that movie we talked about recently with Edward G. Robinson, where he plays dual roles.
The whole
He
town's
plays the
talking.
gangster. The whole town's talking. She is so amazingly funny in that. In specifically one scene where she's being interrogated by the police,
That's yeah.
that her everything about her timing is flawless, and
And
some of the best I've
so
seen. But
what's amazing to me is she's doing that role, the one Too Many Husbands, in 1940 is when that comes out, right?
mhm,
And this is a time when like Cary Grant's becoming popular. The men can be older, but women always have to be young. She's
yeah,
40 doing that
yeah,
movie. So
yeah,
she was able to do things in at a time when she was technically too old by normal Hollywood standards of the day to do those things.
right.
That's
I'm
amazing.
trying to equate a modern comedy actress that people would know. I don't. I can't think of any. Somebody very good looking, great timing, very funny comedically, would be the romantic lead. And Sandra Bullock, maybe. I don't know, but
Yeah,
somewhere
something
in
like
there,
that.
there's to equate that to modern, but
Yeah.
her performance drives it all.
Eh,
It
yeah,
helps that she's very attractive and,
right.
those things, but her
Sure.
performance is phenomenal.
So
Some of
good.
the best comedy that's out there.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look it up.
Um,
Or not look, I'm gonna
yeah,
find it to be able to watch it.
look it up.
Look, I'm gonna look it up.
Let's look in those encyclopedias
Let me
behind
check
you.
my encyclopedia.
You're Suncoast Video, right?
I'm at Suncoast
I
Video.
love that.
Let me go grab the latest edition of Video Hound and see what it says.
Video Hound. Oh, Christ, I forgot about that. I used to have to get the new one every year
Every
because
year.
there's so many movies that come out. It is literally a book where it just lists every movie with a tiny
It's like,
description.
yeah,
And I don't know how the book wasn't it was the same size every year.
yeah, it never really
Didn't it
got
seem like
bigger.
it?
It
It didn't,
didn't.
I mean, not as big as you think it would.
Right.
So, like, what do they do? Ditch movies that they're like,
Like, yeah,
well, cut
nobody
greed
looked up
out.
this movie.
Like Too Many Husbands. Nobody's gonna
No
watch
one's
that
gonna
piece
watch
of
that
shit. Let's
anymore.
just
That's
cut it
funny.
out of the
Yeah,
book. But
real
yeah,
funny.
Video
Yeah.
Hound. That's amazing. Anyways,
So
I watched a couple other things. What about you?
the only other thing that I watched, and so I'm not here to yuck anyone's yum. We know
Yeah,
this. The
you are.
world knows this, but so I watched the Pauly Shore movie In the Army Now. It's
Oh
stupid,
wow.
it's
Okay.
easy.
On purpose,
On
right?
purpose, on purpose. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Not Clockwork Orange style.
Clock no, so no, I watched it on purpose. It's a guilty pleasure-ish. We don't do guilty pleasures, we just watch what we watch, but I watch it and the whole time I'm thinking, God, wouldn't it have been great if Phil Hartman's wife shot Andy Dick instead? And that's really
Oh
bad, but
yeah.
the story is that Andy Dick is the reason she got back on drugs. They were
Really?
friendly while they were because he was doing, the show with Phil Hartman, he
News
was doing
radio.
news radio.
Yeah.
He's the one who brought drugs to, um this is rumored that John Lovitz said this, that John Lovitz relayed this, that it was Andy Dick who brought the drugs back into her life and set off the events. I don't know if that's true, but in my head it is, because that's the rumor that I heard. So I'm watching it, and
Right.
and at the same time I'm thinking, this is the only movie that I don't hate Pauly Shore when I'm watching it. I generally get sick of him really quick, even in a movie that is fine, like Encino Man, where Sean Astin is cool and I
Yeah.
like, but I don't love Pauly Shore generally. In this one, he doesn't irritate me. I love Lori Petty. I'm a huge David Allen Greer fan, so I'm enjoying this movie. Art LaFleur's in it, Issei Morales, whatever. Andy Dick, every time he's on screen, irritates the crap out of me in this movie. And I think if somebody else did that role,
It'd
if
be
he gave that
better.
to anybody else, any other tall, skinny, nerdy comedian of the day, this would have been a much better movie, and maybe Pauly Shore doesn't disappear for a long time shortly after.
You're not a huge fan of Pauly Shore and Jury Duty?
See, Jury Duty, it's hit or miss for me. It depends. If I'm in the mood for Stanley Tucci doing a really bad accent, then I'll watch it. No, no, I don't like Creed.
I was working in a movie theater,
Yeah.
at when that movie came out, and, one of the coworkers, a really good friend of mine, Rainey, I think she worked at
Yeah,
Blockbuster
I
with you,
know
right?
Rainy, yeah.
Yeah, Rainey and I worked together, Rainey Hamrickson, but, she has a married name now. But we worked together at the movie theater. It was our first job, and she loved the movie. Like
Yeah,
she I don't know how many times, because we got to see free movies,
sure.
that she dragged me and whoever else she could to go see that movie, so I've seen it a lot. I like Tia Carrere,
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
uh
I love that it has a whole montage of Pauly Shore watching, old court movies, and they do a whole 12 Angry
right.
Men thing. Um,
Yeah, I do remember that. I do
though,
remember
like,
that.
there are ideas in the movie that I think are smart ideas. I think the whole idea that it's really just a ham-fisted way to say, "Let's get rid of styrofoam and use recyclables," is
Right.
but anyway,
That's true.
anyway.
I think I'm really glad Pauly Shore exists,
Yeah.
even if he's not necessarily for me.
Right. Now,
You know what I mean?
and because well, with Pauly Shore, you get his mom Mitzi, the Comedy Store, responsible for countless stand-up comedians that we
I
love.
don't wanna hear Pauly Shore tell any more stories about, what's his name, the comic,
Sam
um,
Kinison?
Sam Kinison. I don't know how many times that, and I get it. Listen, that's probably the coolest Pauly Shore ever
Right.
was as
Sure.
a teenager hanging out with Sam Kinison,
Yeah.
at a time
Yeah.
when Sam Kinison was
Um,
Sam
no,
Kinison,
and
but
for us, for people of our age, Pauly Shore came around at, like, the reason he became famous is because of MTV. He was
yeah,
popped up on their
the Weasel,
spring break
right?
weekend, the Weasel. He had this whole persona that was exactly what 1992 needed, I guess.
Yeah,
Um,
that's true. That's true.
and
I'm glad he
that's
exists. He's an
fine, and
icon of my childhood.
yeah, he's a and which makes him a touchstone point in our childhood. I enjoy Encino Man. I don't hate Son-in-Law. I'm fine with In the Army Now. And then he
Right.
did that movie Polly, I think, a few years later. Paul or what was it called? Pauly Shore is Dead. I actually liked
Oh
Pauly
yeah,
Shore is Dead.
I did
Um,
too.
that was actually
Thought it was
well
him being
done.
himself.
But
Yeah.
that was him basically reflecting on the loss of career and relevance. So,
Yeah. And
yeah.
who he was.
Mhm.
Yeah. And
So,
dealing with that comeback.
there's that.
I watched another movie. Um, it's called The Carey Treatment. It's James Coburn. It's based on a Michael Crichton book. It's actually one of Michael Crichton's first books from I think he wrote it in 67 when
Mhm.
he was a med
When
student.
he was still, yeah,
He wrote
doctor
this
when he was still
book
becoming Dr.
called
Crichton.
A Case of Need, and it's before abortion was legalized at the time, and it is about a young girl who dies from what they think is a botched abortion, and they hold a doctor responsible for it, just based on rumor that he performs illegal abortions. And we're back.
We are back.
So,
Uh,
as I was talking about briefly before our commercial break, which we didn't have one, but we'll call it that. Um, I watched a movie called The Carey Treatment from 1972. James Coburn. It's a Michael Crichton book he wrote when he was in med school. It's about a young girl who, very wealthy young girl, white privileged girl who dies of a botched abortion. Is basically the notion, and abortion was illegal at the time, and they try to hold a doctor responsible based on rumors that he's performing illegal abortions. It's based on a book called A Case of Need, which is an early Michael Crichton book that I read under he wrote under a pseudonym. I can't remember what it is right now. It's a pretty good book. The movie is a little weird. James Coburn is very poorly cast. He's like in like Flint playing this nerdy doctor. It doesn't fit, but the movie itself is pretty good, especially because it's of the time. But the thing that's notable about it, besides the fact that it's Michael Crichton, and he wrote it while he was in med school, which I thought med school students didn't have time to write a book. But
right? What are they?
anyways, the notable
Yeah,
thing is James Hong. James
yeah.
Hong is just another doctor at this giant Boston hospital. He's a good friend of James Coburn, who's the new doctor at the hospital or whatever. He's the one who's accused of performing the illegal abortion. And he didn't. He didn't do it. But he does, I guess, he was doing them properly or whatever, saying that's
Right.
whatever. And
Mhm.
then James Coburn trying to track down the whole thing. The thing I thought, first of all, James Hong has had such a storied career. He is in
Yeah.
so many things. We definitely at some point have to have a whole episode about him.
Yeah.
But I love the guy to death. But in this, I just think for 1972, it's fairly impressive, especially with Vietnam. Don't get me wrong. Just the whole way some of the people in the country might have felt about any Asian American or Asian.
Yeah.
But anyways, they don't touch on that. There's a couple of comments at the beginning about how the doctor who runs the hospital has a problem with I think he says yellow people or whatever, like, because my skin is this or whatever. But that's it. The rest of the time, he's just another doctor, which I always find that more impressive
Yeah.
than
Sure.
focusing on it solely for the thing of trying to create social justice or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it was directed by someone who's way more famous as a comedy guy, Blake Edwards, right?
Yeah, it is Blake Edwards. Yeah, and he does a fine job with the drama. He's done other drama. I'm trying to think offhand at what they are, but anyways, it's good. He follows Pink Panther and
Yeah.
stuff for this, so it's a weird topic,
Yeah.
but it's again Michael Crichton. It's storied career. I can't believe the amount of stuff he's written. He's a brilliant, brilliant writer that we've lost. But anyways, I
Yeah.
just want to note that because James Hong is
Yeah.
incredibly impressive in the movie, more
Yeah.
than anybody else. By the way, have you seen the new He-Man trailer? I know this is old, probably news now. Have you seen the trailer for the new
Right.
movie?
Uh, I just I've seen part I saw part of it. I didn't watch I was scrolling and it came up. I watched it for a second, just to see how I saw how they're doing the 2 different worlds where, Adam comes from modern the modern world, Earth, and
An
somehow gets
origin
transported to
story.
Eternia. Yeah, an origin
Did
story,
I
yes.
not understand? As a kid, I loved He-Man. I played with it. I watched the
Sure.
cartoon.
Yeah.
Um, did I not know? Was there an origin story for He-Man? Like, did he come from modern and
No,
like
it
Harry
my
Potter
recollection
style?
was that he was the prince of Eternia, and that was it.
Yeah, he
And
was
then by the
always
power
there.
of Grayskull, he becomes
But instead, he gets like a wizarding school,
yeah.
invitation or something, and goes to Narnia or Eternia or whatever the fuck
Yeah,
it is.
right. Yeah,
Anyway, I
I
just wanted to
don't
mention that.
recall,
You didn't see
but the
Adolescence,
cast
did
looks
you?
cool.
I know the cast actually looks fairly decent. It looks like it's a cartoon. I have
Yeah,
problems with these over green screen movies because it looks like a
sure.
cartoon, like Wicked or something else. But
Yeah. Oh,
other than
yeah.
that, I won't see it unless it's supposed to be great, and then I'll wait for it to come out for nothing. But
Yeah,
Dave,
it it is a streamer for me, but
yeah. And when I have time, it
yeah,
would be pretty low on my list, to be fair, but I'm glad it's out there for people
yeah,
who want to see it,
sure.
like Pork Chop Pete.
Absolutely.
Um,
Shout out to
but
Pork Chop.
you didn't see Adolescence, right?
I haven't sat down and watched it yet. No, I need to because
Okay.
it just won at the time of recording, it had just recently won a bunch of Golden Globes and
Right. Well, Stephen Graham is doing another movie called The Heel or Heel. The Heel.
yeah, Heel. I know I saw something about this.
Have you seen the trailer?
Again, I
I'm
gotta get better about
really
watching the
intrigued.
trailers.
Oh, trailers are easy. That's why I say this. But anyways, at some
Yeah,
point, I'm just letting you check that out. It just looks intriguing and kind of it could be pretty impressive. I'm a little confused, which is a good thing to leave
yeah,
a trailer without feeling like you know the whole
absolutely.
thing, but still insanely intrigued and everything else. This is kind of like The Bride or something else.
Mhm.
But anyways, I hold back on all those things. I did finish Pluribus
Yeah, so is
recently.
do I am
Mel
I
and I did.
missing out that I have not finished it yet?
I like it. Um,
Yeah,
I mean, sci-fi is not my go-to typically. Vince
same.
Gilligan does it so very well. I do think drags a little bit in the middle episodes, personally, but I think she's impressive. She won a Golden Globe for it, although I
Yeah.
feel like they were giving her long overdue deserves for
Hey, we're
Better Call Saul.
sorry.
But
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is good. It does end on a note that I'm stoked, really excited to see the next season.
Okay.
I know there are people out there who this hits right on their sweet spot, and they're like, "Oh, this is
Right.
like
And I
they might
knew it
not have
was
liked Breaking Bad because crime, drugs,
yeah.
things, reality stuff isn't good, but they might
Yeah.
like something that's a little more
And
supernatural."
I
So
appreciate and I can appreciate, even though I'm not a normally a sci-fi guy, I can appreciate Vince Gilligan going back to X-Files type material because that's where he really got his start was doing X-Files stuff. That's where he met Bryan Cranston, and
yeah.
so I can appreciate that. And if anyone's going to get me
And
into
Home
a
Fries,
sci-fi
didn't he write Home Fries
home
with Luke
fries,
Wilson
yeah,
and Drew
yeah,
Barrymore? Oh my goodness, he probably wants to forget that one. But I will say,
that was
um,
as our friend, as friend of the show, Boaz Yakin would say, that was a paycheck job.
that was a paycheck job. Thank you, Boaz, for that. Um, so the one thing that is most impressive about this movie, and we live in a world of AI possibilities, faking stuff, everything else. But if I'm to believe they are filming this thing in so many places around the world, possibly. Like, I'll just tell you, there's a whole episode where one of the other survivors or whatever is making their way up from South America to Arizona or to Albuquerque,
Yeah.
and
That's the Albuquerque is the center of the universe
it is
for
one of the more impressive
conspiracy.
episodes to me. The guy is an unknown. I don't know who the actor is. He'll probably be a bigger name now. He's great in the role. He doesn't really say anything except for in Spanish, a handful of things. But the places they're filming, like the trails and things they're filming on, are things I've seen in like CNN documentaries about migrant
Sure.
movements. And so
Yeah.
I'm like, are they really filming in the middle of this? Like, is
Yeah.
this like, and again, I don't know, you can fake a lot of stuff. I'm not trying to say I'm
Sure.
sucked into the
Yeah.
magic of it, but if I'm to believe that they're shooting in these different locations that it looks like, it's insanely impressive. And he probably spent all of
Yeah.
his money just on moving his crew around.
Just
But if not, then great job on fooling me, you know?
way to go. Yeah,
Anyways,
and I'm sure it's not AI, but CGI can do a lot, and they can set up a lot. I can't imagine that Vince Gilligan is using any AI type stuff to film.
I think it's location shooting, to be honest, but I haven't done enough digging, and
Yeah,
again,
right.
I'm naive. I can
Haven't
be
done
very
that
naive
right.
at times, you know. You mean it's
You
not a
know
real
what?
chocolate factory?
We should find a way to go back in time and
Well,
and
one
solve all these problems.
one more thing, and I just want
No.
to mention one thing. Did you know Patrick Dempsey is an action star and he's playing a hitman in something?
No,
Patrick
but I'm okay
Dempsey.
with it. I want him to
Are
get
you?
back to being I want I
Was he ever an action star? Was he
no,
ever
but
like
I want him well, he was in Run in the
okay.
'80s.
I didn't see it.
So
So
he did the one that I know of off the top of my
okay.
head,
Okay.
but, I know he got his start as the quirky rom-com lead. I
Can't
get
buy me
that.
love.
Can't buy me and I will forever love Can't Buy Me Love.
Yeah.
Um, I will forever love whatever Meatballs movie he did, whatever. I like him. I but he doesn't make movies for me anymore, hasn't in a
Yeah.
while. So I'd
Yeah.
like to see him make a movie that is maybe
Okay.
for me.
It's actually I
And I
think
don't
it 10 episode show. It's called Memory of a
oh,
Killer. And I think he's a
never
hitman.
yeah.
And
So,
the scenes
yeah,
they show
and I
look
don't
action
mean
filled.
yeah, and I don't mean that actors need to go out and do things for me. Do what you
Yeah, they
wanna do,
do.
make the
They
art you
damn
wanna
well
make.
do. If they're not keeping me
Ma
happy, why are they even
make the
here?
art you wanna make, but I would when it is someone that I grew up with, yeah, I love it when you branch out and do something,
That's true.
stretch your
Yeah.
legs,
Yeah. Show more
your
of what you
acting
can do.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, that being said, we did have a discussion last week. I think we were talking about we got to 12 Monkeys,
yep,
which kind of, because we were talking about flashbacks, everything
flashback,
else. And the idea that that's flashbacks, or it's mostly like it's time travel, I guess, is really what it is. And we were both going to come up with some lists and have a discussion about
yeah,
time travel movies because
yeah,
it's a genre that's been done a lot in the
a
last
lot.
you know, 30 years,
Mhm.
less so before that.
Right. Yeah, I looked and there aren't a lot of, like, the classics, right? Like, the early film industry, and I don't know why because, the not it's not the earliest one I found, but the earliest one that I've seen and I know very well is 1960s Time Machine,
Yeah.
but which is based on the H.G. Wells story, which was turn of the century, 1900,
Yeah,
1905,
which
1910. So why weren't they making these? Because they
I
were
know.
making his other stories way back.
the
So
the
why not try
concept, the
that?
story is out there. Why did it take
Yeah.
so long? Like, and again, I did the same research. I was trying to find there's some obscure things
Yeah.
from the silent era, the 20s, 30s, and 40s, but realistically, they only count things like A Christmas Carol, which
Right.
sure, I guess he's going back in time to
He
see
d
his
yes.
present and his future and whatever, but that's not exactly what we're
But it's
talking about
not
here.
yeah.
So why did the time machine? Why was that so relegated 60 years or whatever later?
Yeah.
That I
Right,
don't know, I
yeah.
find that
'Cause
strange,
I know
but I
that,
do love that one.
and I'm looking for these, I haven't been able to find them, but, around 1896, there were a series of shorts. They were the Rip Van Winkle shorts, and they were, so they're about the man who but he travels back in time and experiences a changed world, and there are all these little shorts. I want to find them, I haven't been able to yet,
I have them. Do
because
you wanna
we
I
love that
can
history, but from 1896, they gotta be like 30-second shorts, couple
yeah,
minute
I have
shorts,
a bunch
right?
of them. Do you I can loan them to you if you want.
Loan them to me? So,
I have the original nitrate copies.
the night yeah, I love it.
Oh my
Those are
god, they're on fire.
what?
I
Whoopsie.
exposed them to daylight.
That's where the idea of vampires came from.
Air hits them. It's not good, man. Stupid
Yeah,
nitrate film.
um but yeah, so I sat down and I looked there, and obviously I was not familiar with any of the obscure things, and I didn't
Yeah.
count Chris
No, no,
any
no.
version of Scrooge Christmas Carol because that is more flashback.
Yep.
Those
I
would have
agree.
fit better into last week's episode than an actual
Yeah,
time
because
travel.
they're not impacting the
Right.
reality.
Yeah.
You know, in the same sense, like Time Machine is obviously the quintessential
Right.
version of it, but you and I both discussed how much we love the Christopher Reeve movie, Somewhere in
Yeah,
Time.
somewhere in time.
That's also a little bit outside of the box of conventional time travel, but it 100% is time
Yeah,
travel,
it's
just
time
one
travel
direction.
through willpower, right? Like, he
Yeah, yeah,
wills himself there
suggestion.
with the penny, yeah.
Yeah. And
The penny.
the end of that movie, I saw it when I was pretty young, but the end of that movie makes me
Yeah.
cry every time. It's
It's
just an
so it is a
amazing
very
movie.
sad
It is so boring, the entire movie, for a 10-year-old kid
Yeah,
up until the last maybe
yeah,
30 minutes, and then it's
yeah.
amazing. But the thing is, seeing it when I was very young,
Yeah,
all that boring romance stuff, which is very sweet now that I'm older,
sure.
but, uh,
Mhm.
I still, even though I was pretty bored by it when I was young, the ending was so good to me that it left a giant impact on me. Do you
Yeah,
know what I mean?
absolutely.
So,
And
time travel.
Christopher Reeve gets a lot of hate for a lot of things, like, he was stiff as an actor and everything, but he's really good in specifically in this movie.
Yeah.
And I get it, he was stiff in a lot of his roles, but in this particular movie, he's
He was pretty
charming, he's
loose. He
sweet,
was
he's
pretty loose
endearing.
and he was loose in Superman, right?
It's no, he's the stiffest Clark Kent.
I know.
Um, no, but so but I was down that H.G. Wells thing because of 1960s Time Machine, but there's another movie. It is not based on a H.G. Wells story, but it stars an actor playing H.G. Wells. It's from 1979. Have you heard of Time After Time?
I love the
It's
movie.
Malcolm McDowell, David
Yeah,
Warner,
it's on
Mary
my list.
Steenburgen. Yeah,
I
oh,
love
yeah,
that movie.
yeah.
It is.
H.G. Wells pursuing Jack the Ripper across time.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I,
my kind of fun.
I saw it as a kid. My dad loved it,
Yep.
so shout out to
Mhm.
Pops. He's passed away now, but loved the movie. It was and is very 1970s,
Yeah.
but it still has this mix of more modern in it. But Yeah, I really liked it. It's a great blending of it's a great I don't even know who wrote it, but it's basically an all new creation mixing a bunch of sort it's like
Yeah.
Phantom of the Paradise with Garrett Graham, where
Right.
that
Yeah.
mixes Faust
Oh,
and it mixes all these
mhm.
other
All
things.
these things.
Um,
Yeah, so it was written and directed by Nicholas Meyer. I don't know where the idea came from, but Nicholas Meyer is the writer-director.
okay. I know him.
Yeah,
He's my
big
neighbor. He lives
yeah,
next door.
bestie.
There we've talked like there's some bad versions of this, like, I don't wanna say bad, but, like, the ones that are less appealing, like, we talked about Free
Sure.
Jack, and
Yeah,
Free
you've
Jack
mentioned it in the
is
past
this
many times.
weirdo mix of first of all, Mick Jagger, I think, is one of his first roles. I don't even think he knew what movie he was in, uh, but and then Emilio Estevez, like a race car driver, and they basically right if somebody's about to die, then in the future they can like take their soul right as the second when they're about to die. I don't know, it's all it didn't make any sense. I don't think they knew what they were doing. They just started throwing stuff at the wall and saw what sticks.
Yeah,
But it is
yeah,
time travel. He goes to the future and it has this really grim version of what the future would be like
yeah,
poverty and starvation everywhere, and basically where we're living now. So they weren't too far off. Free Jack. But anyways, they've done bad versions of it. Then they've done ones that
yeah.
I loved when I was a kid. I just want to mention Star Trek 4.
That's on my
It
yeah,
was
that's on
it was the first Star Trek. My dad was a huge Trekkie. Loved the original
yeah,
show.
mhm.
Next Generation, watched all of them. I
We
think
saw
watched
'em all.
all the other incarnations, but the movies and stuff like that didn't always do a lot. But I loved 4. First of all, San
Yeah,
Francisco,
yeah,
which I live and have worked. I work in San Francisco often. I have a job that I might be starting there next week. I love San Francisco. It's a fantastic city, despite what people might hear. It's amazing in there and beautiful and
mhm.
cultural and all those things. But it's also the one with the most comedy. It's got the
Yeah,
funniest
we're
lines.
looking for the nuclear vessels.
Yeah. There's a whole scene where Scotty needs this plastic manufacturer or this manufacturer to make these really thick panels. They can put like glass panels, but they can't use
Yeah,
glass, it's too fragile, whatever. So
right.
he shows them how to make it as transparent aluminum.
Yeah,
He gives them the formula, this modern guy, and they're from the future, and he says, try this, and he goes, oh my god, that's transparent aluminum. And then one of the other people from the future, Dr. McCoy or whatever, looks at him and says, I thought we weren't supposed to mess with the past. You can't give him that. And he goes, who's to say that he didn't invent it? Which is, I think, the funniest line. Like, because
yeah.
there's the
No, so
paradox in time travel movies
right.
of how could this exist if you couldn't go back if you've already altered,
You're
you know.
yeah. No, and what that Star Trek 4 does so is that it's really cool is yes, it's a time travel movie, but it's going back in time to what is actually the present day.
Yeah.
Like, they're not like, they didn't
Yeah, it's
have
like
to
yeah.
because it's a futuristic show. So they come
Yeah.
back to what is like, what, 1987 San
Yeah.
Francisco.
I think it's
In
85, but 100%.
85.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that moment in
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. The stuff on the bus, on the public transit is
Yeah.
hilarious.
People
The
have
punk
mohawks and
rocker and the
yeah.
boombox, yeah, it's yeah, that's and that like Rocky 4s, there was something about the 4s in that mid-80s, they were doing part 4s really well.
Yeah, the one where Rocky goes back in time though, Rocky 7,
When Rocky goes back
fights
into
a tractor.
um,
I don't know.
how about I'm gonna assume my next one on my list is one that you've absolutely seen because it feels like something that a dad introduces, and that's 1980's Final Countdown with Kirk Douglas and Martin
100%.
Sheen.
I love the
It
movie. That was
yeah,
I was gonna say that one next also.
yeah,
I've
yeah,
been I've been
uh,
trying to explain that movie to Amy,
right,
to Mel, because I want her to watch it. She actually might
yeah,
like it, maybe not,
may
but it's
it's
amazing. I love the
yeah.
movie.
It's so for those that haven't seen it, this'll sell it for you. A modern aircraft carrier is thrown back in time to the eve of Pearl Harbor, and they deal with the moral choice of whether to alter history or preserve history. Should they prevent the Pearl Harbor attack from happening, or should they let it happen and leave things alone? It's a really cool idea for a time travel movie. It
Yeah,
puts it
I
into
mean,
a moral perspective.
they don't really get
The
I'm glad when they don't try to get into the science because there's no
Yeah,
real science. So
there
they're
isn't.
just like I think they shot some radar thing and then this all just woo 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 it just happened and all of a sudden they're back
And they're
and they're but I remember there are these Japanese Zero planes flying around and like they have modern jets like F-16s or F-15s
Yeah,
flying around like the ones from Top Gun for Christ's sake,
yeah.
and they're flying and they see these planes like look at this, somebody's flying some antique planes because they don't know yet.
'Cause they didn't
And
know.
I think the Japanese Zero fires at the jet and he
Yeah,
goes, are they shooting at us? Like it's just insane. They push one button and like a missile just takes them out.
yeah,
But it's just I don't know, it's funny they don't deal with the
yeah,
science of it. Martin
yeah.
Sheen,
Martin
it's a
Sheen,
pretty good
And
cast.
Kirk Douglas. Martin
But
Sheen
yeah,
and Kirk Douglas are the 2 big,
you
stars.
nailed it. My dad definitely had me watch
Yeah.
that more than a few times, and I'm trying to find it. I might have to buy it on DVD.
Well, a week before recording, it was still streaming on Prime.
Oh yeah,
It was.
okay.
When I was doing my research, it was. I don't know if it still is
So
because
if
you
I
know
can
how
go
that
back in time
if
to
you can
7
get
weeks ago
yes,
and tell myself
exactly.
to watch it, because I don't know any of this until I hear the show in
Right.
March 14th,
No, as
10th, something.
of actual physical recording, it is currently streaming on Amazon Prime with your subscription.
Beautiful. That is probably what I'm going to watch after 3,000 other movies tonight. I thought you would mention Flight of the Navigator. Do you consider that a time
It's on
travel
here.
movie?
It's on here. It's on
I
here
mean,
for sure, yeah.
you did write a spec
I
script,
wrote a screenplay about
which
it.
is
I
great. It's
did.
a good screenplay, good script. But you wrote that about, so
Disney,
I figured
call me.
I
Let's set
I
something up.
I left that one for you out there. But what do you think about Idiocracy?
So that's another. I love the idea, the Rip Van Winkle thing where he suddenly wakes up all these years in the future. The
Yeah.
only problem I have with Idiocracy is why did it have to be a documentary? Like,
It felt too
Mike
real.
Judge did not make it to be a
He did
documentary,
not. He was
but
making
it
something
did.
goofy.
Yeah,
Mike Judge literally said, "Why do they make all these movies where the future people are smarter?" He goes, "They, in reality, people might get dumber." So he goes, "Huh, that's a funny idea." He
that's a
writes it,
funny.
and here we are. It's
And
the
here we are.
Crocs thing, right? Where they picked up
Yeah,
Crocs, those dumb
yeah.
shoes, because they thought
Mhm.
they were so stupid looking, and now they're actually
Yep,
popular, or they,
and
whatever when this
everywhere.
came out.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, no, but Idiocracy is one of those that, is fantastic.
You
It's
think
really funny. Um, Luke Wilson is super likable in the role. He has that everyman about him, so it's
Maya
just like,
Rudolph is so funny
oh,
and
love Maya
gorgeous
Rudolph.
and
Yeah.
just
Um,
really Mike
so
Judge is
I
I can't do wrong in my opinion
so
so
this
far.
one, I think would be is canon, but does it count?
Yeah, you're right.
Terminator.
It's little yeah, well
Oh,
I let me ask you a question. What's the definition of time travel? Is it just going one direction? Because you make a good
but
point with the Rip Van Winkle stuff.
going
Idiocracy,
yeah.
is it, or is it just being a coma patient who wakes up in the
No,
future? I
so
don't know.
I think where I struggle with Terminator is that so little is shown, maybe even nothing,
Are you
almost
talking
nothing
about
is shown.
Schwarzenegger's penis? Because you can see it in the first one
There's
when he
plenty that is shown.
when he's walking up to Bill Paxton
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
punks.
and
You
the
can see a
punk.
little bit of dong there
Yes,
if you're
you
looking
can
really
see
carefully. You have to
no,
pause it.
but you don't
Our
see a lot
pork
of
chop Pete did a whole special about pausing it on the dong. But anyways,
yeah,
I hold back.
but ti as a time travel movie, I question it because you don't really see action in the future that they're traveling back from. Terminator 2, you do see some of that future because you see the tanks rolling over the skulls and you
I get
see
it.
some, but in the original Terminator, there's not much of the future. They just appear in time. So time travel is your starting point, but you don't experience, whereas
You know,
Back to the Future, you experience all sides of the time travel.
yeah, Back to the Future is
Yeah,
that's like the time
that
machine.
is the time travel.
Those are the epitome of. That's why we're
Yeah,
not even discussing them.
we're not no, unless we wanna talk about part 3 because that's the West.
Remind remind me, Terminator. one, it never shows the future at all, right?
I don't know that it never does, but it's very little, and so that's where I'm wondering, like,
I
does
don't
it
think it
count if
does.
we I don't think it does. If it does, it's real fast at the beginning, but I don't think it does because I think the credits end with the hole getting cut out
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Arnold bent over and then immediately followed by Michael Biehn doing the same thing a few minutes later.
Yeah.
So I don't think
Less
it ever
less the
shows the future.
penis. Yeah.
Less penis with Michael Biehn.
Less
And
penis,
is it
Michael
was it
Biehn.
less penis because they wanted to make Arnold look manly, so they hid his better? Or
Mm,
was Arnold just more man?
I think he's just more
I don't know.
man. A six foot
Maybe.
three a dong there, buddy. But, yeah, I'm trying to remember, I think you're
I don't
right,
remember it
I think
that way.
the definition is it should show both times, at least in some perspective,
Yeah,
right? Like,
that's where I
at least a little bit.
which would mean Terminator 2 is more of a time travel
Yeah.
movie than Terminator 1, but because Terminator 2 exists, by extension, Terminator 1 then qualifies because
Well,
they're continuations of the I don't know.
here's what I've actually never seen, and maybe you have, but I don't know if it fits the criteria, but Peggy Sue Got Married.
It's
I've
on
never
my
seen
list.
it.
Yeah, it's another
It
one of
does show
those where
both. It shows
yeah,
both
yeah,
time
it
periods, and
does,
she
but
goes back to her prom
she
and
goes
gets
back
fingered in
and
the
get
parking
yeah,
lot or something.
because she convinces somebody to buy I can't remember what if it's IBM or what, but she convinces somebody to buy stock and it changes his future now he when she comes back. So it is that's on my list because it's
It's a good movie,
absolutely
right? Young
yeah,
Kathleen
Kathleen
Turner, Nicolas
Turner,
Cage.
Nicolas Cage, Jim Carrey as one of Nicolas Cage's buddies. Yeah, it's I would if you haven't seen it now I haven't seen it in 30-ish years, but if you have not seen it and it's as good as my mind is telling me it was,
It's worth
I say
watching.
you give it a try,
And even if Pauly Shore's not in it? Wow,
even though
okay.
Pauly Shore's not in it, and you know I generally only recommend Shore movies.
I think as a young man, when I was especially a young punk kid, and I wouldn't watch anything that didn't have karate or boobs in it. Um, I think just the title alone, Peggy Sue Got Married, probably kept me from watching it because I was like, married, that's chick stuff or whatever. Probably because again, very close-minded teenager. Like, what do I know? But I just never got back to it. So I will.
Yeah,
I hear
Peggy Sue
good
Got Married
things.
is 1986, so 8-year-old you wasn't caring about marriage either,
Yeah, it
even
was
though
just
you were pre-punk
just
you.
boobs and Schwarzenegger.
Yeah,
Right?
um,
What did he do in
but you
'87?
mentioned
Yeah,
so
sorry.
you mentioned Pauly Shore, and this is as close to Pauly Shore as I can get with a time travel movie, but Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Yeah,
It's all I mean,
yeah.
it's 100% them traveling time to gather up famous people to give the original TED Talk?
Also, what's her name from
No?
Better Off Dead, right? Frances
D Diane Franklin.
Diane Franklin. Yeah, thank you.
Diane Franklin, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
but I didn't like that movie as a kid.
see,
Everybody else, all my friends did. My wife Mel
so
loves it.
I loved Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I was the only one in my friend group a couple years later that despised Bogus Journey.
Okay. I just didn't.
So
I don't
and then
know.
I watched Bill and Ted Face the Music.
Well, how that's the newer one.
This the
That's the
newest
one that
one,
okay.
where they actually write the song that changes the world.
Oh,
Um,
I forgot that's the
it's
whole concept,
that's
isn't it?
that's the whole thing. That's why
Okay,
George
that's
Carlin goes back. I will
okay.
say that no, is
Clever.
if you do not like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, if you do not like the original movie, you are not going to like the
The
new
new
one.
one.
However,
I
there
don't know
are
by the
some
I haven't seen it since
right,
like the
1989,
so long
right.
ago that I might actually appreciate it
No.
now.
The thing that I actually like the most so, obviously, George Carlin not alive anymore, so he
Oh
couldn't
yeah, see,
reprise his role,
yeah,
so his quote, unquote, "daughter," Rufus's daughter takes on the guide or whatever, and it's played by Kristen Schaal, and we love ourselves a Mel on this show,
yeah.
so
Kristen
shout out
Shaw is
Kristen
amazing.
Schaal doing that, and
I think
she's
I say it
funny.
was George Carlin's actual daughter. I can't remember her
No, that would've I looked
name.
up why they didn't do that, and I guess they act I can't remember who it was. Somebody actually approached her about possibly doing it, and she
Yeah.
said no.
She's
And
like a
she's
stand-up and stuff, so
yeah,
she,
she signed off on Kristen Shaw doing it, but she
Okay.
didn't want she's her own person. She didn't wanna do this thing that was in the shadow of, and I
Even
totally
though
respect the idea, but
she makes every documentary and every mention of her dad. She
every
does
chance.
interviews where she just talks about
Yeah,
George Carlin or,
right.
God love her.
So following Bill and Ted, I have to jump my next 2 movies. No, I had Star Trek Voyage Home, obviously, and Flight of the Navigator because it's our childhood. I loved it growing
Right.
up. It's my first real, experience with Paul Rubens outside of Pee-wee because he's the voice of the ship.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I love it. I think it's a really good movie. I enjoy it a lot. That being said, where do you go from here? What else is on your list?
Well, what about Looper?
Yeah, so Looper would be
I
is
saw it
later on my
once.
list, but it's
I
I
saw it
yeah.
once. I liked it. I
Well,
really
and
did.
we are everyone knows we love Ryan Johnson on here.
Yep.
Everyone knows
And
we love Joseph Gordon-Levitt on here.
yep.
Bruce Willis, hit or miss, sometimes great, sometimes not so much, whatever.
Yep. Yep.
He's serviceable in this role. The
Cool
makeup work to make
concept. The
the
makeup was
makeup work to make Joseph Gordon-Levitt resemble a young
all they did was give him that nose, that
but it's
squared
just
bump
enough.
and yeah, yeah.
It's
It
just
worked. It
enough.
worked perfectly.
It's subtle, it's easy, and
Why
I
have
remember it being enjoyable because it does something cool with the paradoxical nature of
yeah.
so,
And
yeah, I
the
like it.
contemporary future that I think they were showing,
Mhm.
vaguely remember the money system was weird. He has money stashed. Here's the thing: is I did like it, and I saw it in the theater. Why haven't I watched it again? What's wrong with
Yeah,
me?
I don't know,
It's
because
weird. It's
Rick
weird
is
because
better.
oh yeah,
Because Ryan Johnson has so many other movies that you're gonna go back to before you get back to
or just Ozymandias.
yeah, yes, or you're just gonna watch The Fly again on from Breaking Bad. 'Cause he did the most popular and the most hated episode of the same show.
Well, we talked recently about John Cusack and with Pork Chop Pete a few, I guess, 8 weeks ago, 7 weeks ago now. But what do you think of Hot Tub Time Machine?
Um,
This
I like Hot Tub Time Machine. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
do.
I
I
never
kind of like
watched the
them both.
sequel.
I
I
kind
never
of like
watched
them
it,
both.
but the idea of it's silly, it's funny, and all of the characters there playing a similar age to us.
Yep.
And what do you and what is the thing that that when you are in your upper 40s, you start thinking about is the what ifs, what if things were
Yeah.
different, and they get this chance to go
And
back
remember when, like,
and
if I could just go,
remember
if I could
when
just go back to working at Cinemark Medford 4 with Rainey and
right,
watching Jury
r
Duty.
r
I think I started this podcast by saying I want to go back and be 12 again, but anyways, go
right,
ahead.
you did, so you're all over the map,
It's a
um,
loop.
but at the same time at the same time, um, I love I don't know why, but I love Clark Duke.
Oh yeah,
The
right, yeah, yeah, yeah.
chubby, nerdy,
The Dwight. It's
yeah, I
new Dwight from The Office,
yeah,
right?
I think he's
I do too.
hilarious.
I think
Um,
he's very funny.
huge fan. Um, he's in Kick-Ass that I love. He's in a movie that you actually made me watch because you and I have to accidentally find cheesy comedies. So you
Yeah,
had me watch Sex Drive because it was
yeah.
better than it's better than it looks. It's not good, but it's better than it
No,
looks.
yeah,
And
yeah,
Clark Duke's in that, and I was like,
yep,
"Oh, he's
yep.
charming."
You should watch Wieners
So
too. But yeah, and I like Rob Corddry. I'm
yeah,
a Daily
yes,
Show. I love the Daily Show, so I'm a
yes.
huge Rob Corddry fan, and have been for like Children's Hospital was
Children's
funny
Hospital,
in
oh
its
my goodness, yeah. So
absurdity,
absurd. That
you know.
absurd dark humor in a children's hospital? Come on. Who doesn't love this?
Exactly. It's like Hobo with a shotgun. But I remember when the trailers and the previews and stuff were out, I looked down on not looked down, but I was like, oh man,
Sure.
John Cusack. Like I thought
You're
he's just doing
what?
it for the money and all these things like
Yeah,
that. But I liked it. I laughed. The
I
references were there.
Mhm. Yep.
They wink at you.
Yeah,
They
and
know.
I
They're
I
like, "We're."
haven't seen the sequel, but now maybe I will.
You should. It's exactly the same. It's probably not quite as funny,
Yeah.
but in some ways, but probably more references, I think. But they know they're making something silly and stupid. They break the fourth wall just enough to wink at the audience and be like, "We know this is dumb." And it's funny.
Mhm.
The whole what's his name from Back to the Future? Silly Crispin Glover. Like the
Yep.
whole Crispin
Yeah.
Glover losing his arm thing, like that stuff's
Mhm.
all very funny. And
Yeah.
they anyways, I mention that because you can do silly and stupid and still make some fun out of it without making it Bill and
Yeah,
Ted.
so there was a
Say that.
there was well, in 1985, there was a silly, time travel comedy, with
Back to the Future. Yeah.
John Stockwell and Fisher Stevens called My Science Project.
Yeah.
Fisher
That's also on
Stevens
my
plays
list.
a high school kid who creates this thing that accidentally opens a portal through time
But
across the
each
campus.
classroom was a different time or something.
Yeah, yep,
It is
and
so not good to me.
I
Go
I
ahead.
wa and I like it just because it throws the rules away. We don't care about the rules of time travel. It's just about having fun and then dealing with the consequences of the choices that we make, regardless of where we make them.
Right.
I
Okay.
remember enjoying it. I have not seen it in a long time. Old man Josh probably doesn't like it as much, but I remember I currently hold it in high regard because I
Right.
liked it way back when.
I yeah, I didn't see it when I was a kid. I always kind of confused it with the Manhattan Project. Right, the Manhattan Project?
No, the Philadelphia Experiment?
The Manhattan Project with that other kid who makes a science experiment, the atomic
Yes.
bomb. I talked about it recently. The Manhattan Project,
Yes, you
right?
did. Was
Okay. Love that movie. That movie's great. It's like
Yeah.
real genius. But anyways, I was kind of confused it with that for some reason, just occupied the same space in my head. But um I watched the um my science project like I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago for the first time. It's I thought it was awful. And I mean like student filmmaking awful. Like I felt like they had one building to film in and they just decorated different rooms to look. That's why I said that.
Yeah.
I remember like this one's the dinosaur room and this one's this, and they're just walking through the halls, which a school's not big enough for them to
Right.
walk for
For
30
days.
minutes all the way across. But anyways, I could be wrong. I'm not trying to tell somebody else they can't
No,
like it. I
right.
thought it
No,
looked like
I
a
know.
student film run amok.
And I have not watched it in a very long time.
Right.
I only remembered it because it came up on my research, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I love
Yeah.
that movie way back
Yeah.
whenever."
And Fisher
Um,
Stevens at least isn't in brownface. So
and I do remember that distinctly. He is
that
not in
you were
brown.
like, "He's not Indian?"
Wait a minute.
Short Circuit lied to me.
Those
Why is his
guys.
neck so small? Why is his head so big compared to his neck size? Well, how about a better one? Do you consider Midnight in Paris is a time travel movie? Because he
Yes.
goes back in time to hang out with Hemingway and all those things,
Yeah,
and
and
it's
all
a
the writers
super
and everything. Yeah, it's on my list. I definitely think it is. I recognize its problematic nature because it's Woody Allen. However, it is maybe my favorite of the modern Woody Allen movies. I really liked it. I had a lot of fun with it. I was so
yeah.
glad I watched it.
You don't
Um,
really like Owen Wilson that much, right? Don't
I
you? He's
don't, but there's something
yeah.
about that. He just
He's very
um
subdued. He's not Owen
yeah,
Wilson-y in
it's
this. Yeah.
he's not Shanghai Noon Owen Wilson.
Talk about a time travel. I wish I could go back before you said that word. Those words.
Um,
Sorry.
no, you but you're right. What about
Oh,
does something like does a Groundhog Day count?
I mean, I don't think so because
Because he's
that's the
just
repetition
he's
thing.
not going backwards,
Yeah.
he's not going forward.
I went through
Be
some of that same because Happy Death Day and things those come
yes,
up if again
that's
I make a list myself and then I Google just to see like, oh, did I forget anything that's worth talking
yeah,
about, and like
well,
that's the kind of stuff that pops up. I don't think it's fair.
That's the one I thought of was Groundhog Day, and because I thought of Groundhog Day, I'm like, "Well, then you have to count Edge of Tomorrow, you
Yeah,
have to count Happy Death Day 2, Palm Springs with, was it Andy Samberg?
yeah.
Um, there's a lot of those out there,
That show Natasha Lyonne did, which was I thought pretty good. Russian
mm,
Doll, by the way, that's a
Russian
good
Doll,
show. Yeah, it's pretty
yeah,
good. What about
um,
Last Night in Soho? Edgar Wright.
so I don't know,
She does go back in time, right?
but is it
But
just in
as a
her
different person.
mind?
I don't know. That's a good
I don't know.
question.
I love the movie personally. I really enjoyed it.
I
I am
didn't
actually
like it.
planning on watching The Running Man later this weekend because it's
Oh,
now
tell me how it
streaming.
is. I'm gonna
But
I'm gonna rewatch Last Night in Soho. I didn't really care for it as much as
I
I
enjoyed
wanted
it a
to.
lot. I saw it on the big screen when it first came out. Really enjoyed it in the theater. When it came out streaming, watched it again with my wife. I still enjoyed it a lot. She actually liked it. I wouldn't say she loved it, but she didn't hate that she watched it, so I call that
Right.
a like. Um, but, yeah,
What
there
about
oh,
good?
what you got?
I was gonna say, what about Time Cop?
Yeah,
That
I
pops up
have
on
it
a lot
on
of
here.
lists, but I've actually seen that movie. It's Jean-Claude Van Damme. I don't
Yeah,
remember it very well, but I remember
yeah, it's
I
on my
it's 90
list,
94, right?
94.
90 That was
Um,
when I realized I couldn't watch the same movies I was watching 5 years before.
y y
Sorensen and I full on watched the karate movies and shit like that,
I
and,
was yes, Time Cop
everything,
was the
and
movie that told me, "You don't actually like Jean-Claude Van Damme."
yep, that's exactly
I
right. I
remember
that was the
watching it.
moment. Yep.
Mhm. Yes.
Just
Um,
curious.
yeah. So it counts. It absolutely is. I don't know that it would be on my list of, um, underseen movies you should probably go seek out, like many
No,
of these
it's
generally
bad. I
are.
remember that it turned me off of an entire type of film.
Yeah, yeah.
It made me
It is
not like an entire
yes.
martial arts film
It
until years
ended
later when, like, Jet
yes.
Li
Oh,
came
yeah.
into the picture, or I
Right,
really started paying more attention to Jackie Chan and whatever,
right.
things
To
like
the
that.
real yes.
Yeah.
So we talked way back when about, Remo Williams, right? Fred Ward. A
Yep.
couple of years before Remo Williams, he did this other movie that I used to get confused with Remo Williams when I was younger. He did Time Rider: The Adventure of Lyle Swan. So
Okay.
Remo Williams: The Adventure Continues, and Time Rider: The Adventure of Lyle Swan. I confused them all the time. One came out in 1985, Time Rider 1982. In 1982, Fred Ward plays this motorcycle racer that is somehow, through a failed experiment, sent back in time to the Old West, and
Like
his
Buck
presence
Rogers style?
alters
Oh.
history.
Back to the Old
Uh,
West, huh?
Back to the Old West, but it's and the Old West is a much dirtier, much more, Sam
Sergio Leone.
Peckinpah Old West,
Okay. Yeah,
and
got
not
it.
a John Wayne Pretty Old West.
Yeah.
Um, it's I re again, have not seen it in years. I don't even know if you can find it anymore, but I remember enjoying it as a
I've never
youngster.
even heard of it, and I've looked
Um,
his movies up, so I again,
yeah,
I just breeze right past it.
yeah, I enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
that's you ever watch movies like that, where it seems like there's a movie and you think they only made this movie because they had a Western set for some other high
Oh,
dollar picture at Warner Brothers, and so
100%,
they're like,
absolutely.
"Let's make 10 different films. Let's green light all these movies that can happen in a Roman Coliseum because we built
Yeah,
it for the
because
Gladiator
we
movie."
yeah, yeah, and it no, that's absolute I think that all the time, and I always come to this, and I always think, "Why didn't we suddenly get a whole bunch of movies on the water when Waterworld
Waterworld?
came out? Because
Yeah.
they spent so much money building those sets, and then why didn't we like, yes, it ballooned to $175,000,000,
Yeah.
and which it's
Probably
a way
because of
better
that,
movie than
right?
the budget tells you it is, but
Don't they say they'd rather film in the desert than on the ocean? In the
yes.
desert,
Yeah,
you are stuck
um,
with no water, but you have heat
yeah,
and melting equipment, and sound is
yeah,
awful, and sandstorms, but the water is
yes,
treacherous and just
yeah, and I know
unpredictable.
that I was it Wolfgang Peterson that did,
Wolfgang Puck, he makes the soup I like.
the soup. No, Wolfgang Peterson did is I may be wrong. Who did The Perfect Storm?
Oh, I don't remember.
with
Me,
Georgie
I did it.
Clooney, and
I did it. I directed it.
it was
Do you
you.
like it?
That's what I thought. No,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
Wolfgang Peterson. All right. Famous for Das Boot and a million other things, but and The Neverending Story. But
Mm.
in the Perfect Storm, that's all on water. And I remember them saying somebody, whether it was probably a George Clooney interview, and they say that filming on water is the worst. It's uncomfortable. It's it doesn't matter. Everything sucks to be soggy and all of that. Yeah. So I could
You have
imagine it's probably the worst.
unpredictable all across the board because the
Yeah.
ocean, the sea, any of that stuff. That's why they made giant tanks to film in for so many years and everything else. What
So
about Goldmember, by the way, Austin Powers, and
oh,
actually the Austin Powers movies for the most part in general, like the second and
yeah,
third one.
The Austin Powers, the first Austin Powers, as everyone knows, is the Rip Van Winkle thing,
Yeah.
cryogenically frozen, wakes him up years later. But Goldmember is different because he has to go back to the swinging
So and
60s.
the Spy Who Shagged Me, doesn't he go back also to the 60s? I can't remember, but I
I don't remember,
whatever.
but yes.
But I
Yeah,
remember
absolutely.
when they do it and he asks the normal question which you would all think, which when they said you can travel back in time, and then he goes, well, what if I go back and I do this, then wouldn't this, and like talk about how he's going to affect the future and how could he possibly go back if he goes back to, you know what I mean? A very
Yeah,
funny Mike Myersy way of showing the major plot hole in every single one of these movies. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
oh, yeah. So every once in a while, I come across in my research for these lists, I come across a movie I've never heard of before, but for some reason strikes me as something that I would like to see. And in this, I found this Chris Christopherson movie from 1989. Never seen it. It's called Millennium. It's not available anywhere. You can buy the DVD on Amazon for $100.
Oh yeah, okay. I have
'Cause
one. I'll I'll
you
sell
have
you mine for 99.99.
but what it is, so what the story is there's an investigator. He's looking into the cause of an airline disaster. But what he discovers is there's this future organization that reaches back in time and abducts airline passengers in the instance before these disasters in an attempt to save humanity in the future. Like, so I'm like, it's so, I'm like, that sounds interesting. That sounds weird. So I look it up. Can't find nowhere to be found.
Hmm.
If anybody out there has seen it and you know where I can find it, tell me, because I'm not paying $100 for a Chris Christopherson movie. But
Or like I'm looking for Exit to Eden. I can't find that. And I know you sent me, but I don't want to go to an unreputable
yeah, and
site
I
to
don't
buy
know anything
stuff.
about him. I know that, yeah, I don't know.
It makes
So
me
what
wish I
we're
was a
saying
pirate
is
still. It makes me wish I
what
was
we're
still a
saying is,
pirate.
yeah, somebody
You
needs
know?
to do a 4K re-release of Exit to Eden for us
Yeah.
and
And
Millennium so we can
I've only got
Criterion, can we get on that?
I've just got a couple more. Well, first let me do a mention. I have never seen this one, but it's coming out. It's called Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. We talked about it. I saw a
Huh?
trailer. Sam
Yeah.
Rockwell is a time traveler from the future, goes back in time, looks like a homeless or an unhoused person just covered in trash bags and stuff, and everybody thinks he's just unhoused and stuff. And he's like, no, this is the fashion of the future or whatever. I don't know much more about it, but it looks pretty funny.
Yeah.
Um, Time travel
Yeah.
movie, right?
Yep.
But I haven't
Yeah.
seen it.
There's
Have,
I do have a couple that I have another one that I have seen that
mm-hmm.
I'll throw out there, and it goes back to because when something works, we do it again. In 1996, Star Trek went and did some more time travel. This
Okay.
time it's, when the Borg use time
Oh
travel to
yeah,
try to alter
that
humanity's first
first
contact.
contact, is that what it's
Star
called?
Trek First Contact, yeah.
I did see that one. Yeah.
So there's that one, but I have a question about another movie that came up, in my search that I have seen. I think you've seen. Run Lola Run.
I know.
Is Run is it a time travel movie?
I
Because
mean,
she's just or is it? Because she's just she replays the same 20 minutes 3
Yeah.
times, right?
Yeah.
Um, is it
I
is it
I
that
think
she's
it's
going
more
back until she corrects it, or is it just another Groundhog Day?
yeah, like, is she fully controlling it with her scream? I love that movie,
Right,
by the way. I think it
absolutely.
fits in the Groundhog Day thing because I also
Yeah,
had that same thought. I ran across it just as
yeah.
much. Did you see there's a newer movie with, Aubrey Plaza, My Old Ass? Isn't that a time travel movie where
I don't
she
know,
goes
I
back?
it's
Hmm.
I'm plan on watching it. Danica and I are planning on watching it. So shout out to my daughter, new friend of the show. Um, we plan on watching it. So I was when she was researching what to tell us to watch for her
Oh, yeah.
episode.
Yeah, yeah.
And she said, "What about this? What about that?" And I was like, "Yeah, these are all great choices, honey. You just decide, you tell surprise us." But that movie came up as a recommendation next to something else that we were looking at. So now I want to go
Right.
see it. Because it is
What
it's the 30-year-old her or the 40-year-old her going back to the
Yeah, to
20-year-old
teenage
self or
her.
yeah.
Yeah, and trying to school her on the wrong decisions to
Yes.
make or something. It looks cute, looks funny.
Yeah.
Here's one I definitely have seen. It's a segment of it. But it's Twilight Zone the movie, the Vic Morrow segment. He
Yeah.
goes back in time. Vic
Yeah.
Morrow is a racist
Mhm.
asshole.
And it
Mind you,
takes
Vic
him
Morrow
back.
died in this movie.
He did, so it has
It's
a tragic
famously
element,
Jennifer Jason Leigh's dad, which we
which we
found out
just
very
learned about
recently.
8 weeks ago.
But he dies in a horrific on-set accident, very
Accident, yep.
famous. You don't look for videos if you don't want to see
Don't,
him.
because 'cause they're out
But
there. Ugh.
he does go back in time. He goes to Nazi Germany, he goes to Vietnam, famous, obviously. Like, and does that would count?
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
he
that's is it I would the segment counts as a time travel story. I wouldn't call it a time travel movie because
right.
obviously it's
Well, I think what's the other one? There was a nursing home where
anthology,
yeah, and the
The Kick the
nursing
Can,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Good
Great
movie though.
movie, other than that one tragic part.
Yeah,
Um, did
it's
you
pretty
ever
tragic
see
though.
oh, no, I know you saw this one. It kinda uses that concept of somewhere in time, but it's the butterfly effect with Ashton
Yeah,
Kutcher.
yeah,
Um, he keeps revisiting moments in his past, trying to improve his present, but every time it just makes things worse.
yeah.
Um,
I liked it in the theater. I saw it in the theater. I skipped work one day with a buddy of mine, and we went to go see
really,
it.
okay.
He was impacted by it more than I was, but I actually liked it. But in
Yeah,
retrospect, I don't know if I did. You know what I
so
mean?
I need to go back and rewatch it, and I'll tell you why. On our social medias, you remember I put out a post, what's a movie that you saw when you're way too young and totally rewired your brain or whatever, something to that effect. And I would say that Butterfly Effect is one of the most quoted movies in that entire thread
It's
of people
disturbing.
saying that this affected them.
Let me put it. You remember anything about it?
Yeah, I
Okay,
remember
as a
I
Eric,
mostly remember the ending, but
the not the Eric Stoltz stuff, because the Eric Stoltz stuff as a father would probably be
right.
disturbing because it's basically about child molestation,
Yes, yeah,
and that that
I but
you know,
the thing that actually stuck with me the most well, 2 things. Ethan Suplee, when he wakes up and he sees him and he's a punk rocker, because
oh
that
yeah,
just burned into my brain, that
forgot
one
about that.
shot of Ethan
Yeah,
Suplee as a punk, and then there's a deleted scene of him in utero hanging himself with the umbilical cord to prevent it from ever happening.
what? How'd you see a deleted scene?
Because I rented it on DVD to come home and watch it. Because I watched it in 2004 or 2005, so I rented the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
DVD.
No.
I
I went to
watched
the
it and I said,
theater. Yeah,
"Okay,
yeah.
woo, deleted scenes, let's see what those are." And that's what I got. Um, but
Good
yeah,
movie, funny.
Butterfly Effect is definitely one of those. It is for sure. And what about is Interstellar a time travel movie, or is it the act of going to other planets and their time functioning at a different speed and not so much time travel,
It's more like dimensional travel, right? Like in
right?
the
And it
like
affects time because of the dimensionality. It's not so much
that's at least it's not cut and dry.
yeah.
I only have one more, and I don't know what else
I
you got there.
I have 2 more.
What do you got?
One, because I gotta get an animated movie in here if I can. In 2007, Meet the
DuckTales, Treasure of the
Robinsons.
Lost Lamp. Okay, go ahead.
That's a good one.
Meet the Robinsons?
Meet the Robinsons. It's,
That's the superhero, right? What is Meet the Robinsons?
a young inventor travels to the future to find belonging because he feels like an outsider in his home, and he learns to embrace his failure.
Okay.
It gives a really good lesson that it's okay to fail as long as you tried. And that like the is we rag on Thomas Edison on this show from time to time, but Thomas
Well,
Edison
he was kind of an
was
asshole. Huh.
yeah, but he famously said, "I didn't fail 1,000 times. I found 1,000 different ways not to make a light bulb."
Yeah.
Refaming, but
I bet that's not even his quote. I bet he stole it from one of his
I bet you some
employees.
he
So one
stole
of
it
his
from him.
employees is like, "I'll
Yeah,
try 1,000 times and I'll just figure out 1,000 ways not to do
not
it,
to, yeah,
boss." And he goes, "That's
well,
mine now. Give it to me.
stole it.
Stamp my
But
name on it. Patent pending."
as a teacher, he liked to reframe failure as
Yeah.
progress.
Yeah.
You tried, you learned, we do it different this time, we try again, eventually we get better. And
Learning.
that's
It's
what Meet the
everything
Robinsons
learning.
is all about, is finding belonging. And just because you failed once doesn't mean you're a failure. It just means you're learning a new way. So shout out to Meet the Robinsons. It's a fun little cartoon. It's bright, it's pretty, it's a fun movie. The last one I have is just because I thought, how can we get the female listenership? How can we pull in? And I said, you know what we could do? We could go with the James Mangold movie. We like James Mangold. Meg Ryan. We love Meg Ryan. Hugh Jackman. Chicks dig Hugh Jack. So Kate and Leopold.
I've never seen
Meg
it.
Ryan plays Kate. She's a modern New Yorker. Hugh Jackman plays this 19th century Duke who travels through time and ends up in New York. They fall in love. It's silly,
How
fish
does he
out of
travel through
water.
time?
All I remember is him climbing out of a sewer grate, but I don't remember.
Uh,
It came out in
so some
2001,
in the
which means I
sewers,
saw it in 2001.
like the Ninja Turtles. It's
Yeah,
something
I
in the
think it had something to do with
sewers.
the ooze. It was the
The
ooze.
secret of the ooze. It's also a
Uh,
time travel formula. Well, the only other one I have is Sphere.
yeah,
I read the book when I was younger. It's not a very good movie, but there is a time travel component. Actually, we talked about
yeah.
this a little bit.
I'm more of a
First,
Congo guy.
Congo's actually a little better. The book for Sphere is really good.
Yeah,
Not when I was younger, I was introduced to Michael Crichton's books by the Sorensen family. It's famously, we've talked about Josh and Tammy and Jess and Dave and Barbara, whatever, the whole clan.
the
I
clan.
I was introduced because they were all prolific readers and my family really wasn't. But I picked up Rising Sun. It was a Michael Crichton book.
Oh, I loved that book.
That was and I don't know, I read it and I adored it. I loved it a lot. And so from that point on, I was reading so much Michael Crichton stuff. I tried John Grisham stuff. I just never really got into Stephen King like a lot of my friends did. But it's fine. Michael Crichton has made so many things. The movie we talked about earlier, The Carrie Treatment,
The
is
Curious
Michael
Craig.
Crichton
Like,
writing a book I read when I was a teenager.
mhm.
But Sphere, the book, was really good.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was one of
Mhm.
my favorites. The movie, I don't even remember why I didn't like it. I just know I didn't like the movie. I was
Though
disappointed in
I
it.
can still picture the Sharon Stone in the suit in the green tint. I can picture that, but I don't
Yeah,
remember a thing about the movie itself.
yeah. But I was, Michael Crichton has done his
Oh,
career is so far out there. Like
yeah.
he's done everything from filmmaking, writing, directing, books, and everything else. Like in the 70s, he was making movies on his own, which I don't know. That's impressive. And
Absolutely.
I don't know. I think that would be a discussion maybe next week. I would love to
Yeah.
break down because his career is storied. It covers so much
Yeah.
ground and so
And
many
I
different
do think,
genres.
yeah, and we were talking a little bit about this off air when we were planning out where we wanted to go, because everyone knows this is completely scripted. No, but it is
That's
planned to
my
some degree.
line. Just
We know where
kidding.
it needs to get. We know where it needs to get, and we just meander till we
Yes.
get there. But no, Michael Crichton is he's fascinating because he's written screenplays, he's written novels, he's directed films. I believe he even directed some episodic stuff of his work. Like
Yeah.
he was a doctor. He like full on went through med school. He's a very fascinating person, and I think people will be surprised if they don't do the research on their own. But I think they'll be surprised by some of the things that actually have his name attached to them.
Yeah. That came out
Um,
of his brain. Came out of
that
his
he,
brain.
yeah, that he thought of, that these ideas that are pivotal moments. I mean, everybody knows the big one, and that's the one you mentioned, Carrie Chronicles. What the hell? I was about to make a joke and it just
The
fell
Carrie.
apart.
Everybody knows the big one, like the Carrie treatment. That's the one
The
that's
Carrie
popular.
tree.
Some
Everybody
people
knows the
don't.
Carrie tree.
Some people don't know the lesser known stuff like Jurassic Park or something.
Right.
You know, the little
Yeah, and I
films that
think it'll
nobody's
be
ever heard
nice to
of.
really give rise to
Was
some
that
of
your joke? Did
those
I help you out?
things.
Yeah,
Thank you,
yeah.
you
You know,
did.
shine a little
Absolutely
light
hung
on
up,
Jurassic Park because you know.
'cause nobody saw it. No, but yeah, it's 'cause, his stuff has come up numerous times on this show, just not
Mhm.
mentioning him necessarily, but I think it's very important. He is very important to foundationally to movies, to TV, to books
Yeah,
that we both enjoy. I have not
yeah.
probably read as many as you because I've only read maybe 5 or 6. Andromeda Strain, Lost World, Jurassic Park, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think it's a great topic. Yeah,
That's what we'll do next week.
mine's kind of going. I'm already there. I'm already there. I'm already there, man. Oh, you know what? I just thought of something. About 6-ish weeks ago or so, we had Pork Chop Pete on the show, did a
Yeah.
nice little interview, and he mentioned that, he kinda, I don't know if it's a guilty pleasure, but, as far as nostalgic movies, he really liked when Randy Quaid pops up, and I wanted to ask him if he had seen the skating movie, the road trip skater movie where he plays
Pump,
the
pumpkin tits? Good night, pumpkin tits? No.
no, Vince Valoof's dad, the clown. Uh,
Oh,
oh, where he's trying to get the kid's trying to get signed as a
yeah,
skateboarder.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's one word.
it is a single word and it starts with a C.
It's not shred. Oh
No, but that's a
man.
good name too.
I love that. I know it probably is a name. It's probably for a snowboarding primate. It's probably called Shred.
MVP.
And then they made
Oh,
Shred X and then Shred MVP, and it's about this
yeah.
primate who's a
Ah,
spy,
that's funny.
and a lover at night, and all these things like that. You get the name?
And speaking of Vince Valoof, if you're out there, come on our show. We'd love to talk
Yeah,
with
come
you
on,
because
Vince
you've
Luke. We
got
can talk
some
about
great
Rat
stuff.
Race. We can talk about this movie.
Yeah, Rat
Skate,
Race, Grind. We can talk Grind
Grind.
with you, bro.
I
'Cause
love Grind, by the way. It's this fantastic skate movie. It's silly, it's fun, it's
yes,
lighthearted, it's a road trip. Great
yes.
movie. I love it.
It's everything you want in a cold Sunday afternoon movie.
And it's
It's
got
everything.
one of my favorite moments of a
Just
non-acting little kid
a
who
little
throws
bit.
up on him and it gives the greatest expression. You know what I'm talking about?
I'm
It is
laughing at it right now.
amazing what this kid does
Yes.
after he throws up all over him.
Go
And
watch
it's
Grind.
go
It's
watch
really
Grind.
silly. It's really fun. It's just a good time. It's a good
Just a
time
good
for the whole
time.
family because it's actually very clean, so you can watch with the whole family and not have to worry
Absolutely.
about content.
Yeah, there's nothing in it.
So with that, this has been another episode of Couch Critics. We did a lot today. We got a lot done
Yeah.
in this episode. It's been a big one. Yeah, so if you find anything of value in what we've talked about today, please, wherever you're listening to this, leave that 5-star review. Give us a rating, leave us a review. Tell us how we're doing. Tell us what you'd like us to talk about. But most importantly, like Dave always says,
Validate us in some way.
just a little bit. And
Tell
make
us
sure
we're good.
tell us we're good at something. My mommy
I need a
didn't
gold
hug me.
star.
That's a lie. My mother did hug me. If you're listening, Mom, I'm just making a joke.
I think he's knocking you, Mom. He's
Uh,
coming after you.
no, check us out on the socials. We're on Instagram, Threads, YouTube and TikTok at Real Real Talk. Come check us out. Trying to make a little change to our name. It's still at Real Real Talk, but if you come across us on YouTube, it now says Couch Critics RRT, because I think Couch Critics is a much easier thing for us all getting old to remember and spell. So that's where you'll find us if you go search us out. Slowly pivoting that way. But until next time, how do we close?
Two thanks. Thanks for being here. It's a great show. Time travel. We'll talk to Michael Crichton next week. For that's the end of this week. Thank you all for being here. Two critics, one couch, infinite opinions.
And not a single yum yucked in the process. See you guys.
See y'all.